all of the hallmarks of the fall of a regime we are seeing. Those rebels, for example, entering the television studios of the state channel there and informing the people of Syria, the viewers, that Bashar al-Assad's government has fallen. We've seen videos posted on social media of people making their way through his home, his wardrobe, his belongings in the presidential palace, and those rebel groups are now saying that they are in control of not just the Syrian capital, but pretty well large swathes of the entire country. Now, as you rightly said there, the big question right now is, where is President Bashar al-Assad? There was speculation that he did leave the Syrian capital overnight. We've got some confirmation of that in the past hour with Russia's foreign ministry. Of course, Moscow, a very close ally of him. Well, they have said that he left his post and also the country in order to facilitate a transition of power. They haven't said where he is, which country he may have left to, but certainly there the indications are that this government of Bashar al-Assad, a family which has controlled Syria for close to 60 years, well, that regime did all come crashing down last night in those spectacular events that we saw, extraordinary scenes, a real historical moment. This Syrian civil war has been raging since 2011, 14 years, and it has always been a war, a country in which a number of external players have meddled, have tried to build allies and gain power. You know, Russia, Iran, the United States, Turkey, as you say. And so they are all reacting now. What I can tell you here in Israel is that they are concerned that what's happening there could have some sort of spillover effect on their security. So they have actually today announced that they are putting additional troops and tanks up on the UN demilitarised buffer zone. They're putting those troops there, they say, to protect the state. We haven't seen similar movements from other neighbouring Middle Eastern countries, but we do know that the likes of Jordan and Lebanon, in which large numbers of Syrian refugees have been living in recent years, some of them are now starting to go back. They think it's safe to return now that the regime has fallen. We'll have to wait and see what happens next. This is still very fresh. Everyone is still digesting it. But, you know, some are already saying that for the Middle East, this is sort of a Berlin Wall falling type moment. It is hugely significant, both historically and geopolitically, for this region. The rebels that have led this offensive, this HTS group, they are called, they have historical links to al-Qaeda and had often been seen as quite extreme. And so there were concerns that as they made these advances, that it could spell trouble for some of Syria's other minority groups like Christians and Kurds, and also the Shia minority of Syria. But we are not seeing that play out. We have a statement here from the Syrian Foreign Ministry saying a new chapter is being written in the history of Syria, which will inaugurate an era that brings us all together. Now, that is the type of language you probably want to hear right now, because there would be concern, of course, wouldn't there, of supporters of the old regime in Syria, Bashar al-Assad loyalists. I mean, they will be concerned that the Syrian people could turn their jubilance and excitement to anger and even turn their weapons on some of them. So look, we're not seeing any of that yet, but it's obviously still very, very tense. And this HTS group has really tried hard, I think, to rebrand itself as sort of having a big tent approach, trying to bring everyone together. But time is going to tell whether that will work out or whether we will start to see some retribution on the ground against those old loyalists of the Bashar al-Assad government.